Autodesk is a great example of a premium multiple company where valuation is really a proxy for one thing: confidence in the revenue engine and the quality of the earnings bridge. Let's start with the present. On your chart, the stock sits around $251, and the important part is not just the number, it's the context. Autodesk has traded far below its prior highs. For example, MarketWatch highlighted the stock being meaningfully under its 52-week high around $329. When a high multiple software name pulls back like that, it's usually not a demand collapse story. It's the market repricing visibility and execution risk. Now look at the valuation anchors. Your normal value is about 48x. That looks high in isolation, but it makes sense for Autodesk because investors pay for high recurring revenue, strong pricing power in mission-critical workflows, and long-duration cash flows. In other words, Autodesk trades less like an industrial and more like a compounding platform. The 15x fair value line is basically the trust break scenario. It's what happens if investors stop believing the model is stable or think the business is losing its moat. Autodesk rarely lives there unless something structural is wrong. The past lesson here is classic. The biggest mistake investors make with premium multiple names is buying when everything looks perfect and assuming the multiple is permanent. When the market is confident, the stock hugs the normal value band, but if anything introduces uncertainty, the multiple can compress fast even if revenue is still growing. That brings us to the present catalyst. Autodesk just delivered a strong quarter operationally. Multiple reports on its fiscal Q4 showed revenue around $1.96 billion, plus 19% YOY, and non-GAAP EPS around $2.85, plus billings around $2.80 billion, which matters because billings and contracted demand drive future revenue. And the forward visibility looks solid. One widely circulated filing summary cited RPO about $8.30 billion, plus 20% YOY, and current RPO about $5.48 billion, plus 23% YOY, reinforcing subscription visibility. For the future, guidance is the bridge between fair value and normal value. Several outlets summarized Autodesk's fiscal 2027 outlook at roughly $8.1 billion to $8.17 billion revenue and $12.29 to $12.56 non-GAAP EPS. If the company executes into that path, it gives the market permission to pay a premium multiple again, because high multiple stocks don't need surprises, they need reliable delivery. One more historical factor investors shouldn't ignore: governance and cost discipline. Autodesk went through an activist chapter with Starboard, and Reuters reported a settlement that added directors and ended the proxy fight, essentially putting efficiency and execution under a brighter spotlight. That matters because in premium software, operating discipline can be the difference between a 30x stock and a 45-50x stock. So the takeaway from this chart is, at around $251, Autodesk is being valued as a premium compounder, but the market still demands proof that execution stays clean: strong billings, durable RPO, and disciplined margins. Upside comes from consistent delivery into the FY27 outlook and a re-rating toward the normal band. Downside comes if confidence slips, because with Autodesk, valuation is less about what happened last quarter and more about whether investors trust the next 2 years. Let's go straight into the risks for Autodesk, because when a stock trades at a premium multiple, the downside usually isn't revenue goes to zero. The downside is confidence breaks and the multiple compresses. The biggest risk in 2026 is an AEC slowdown, construction and design activity weakening enough to slow new seat growth and expansion spending. Autodesk's tools are mission-critical, but budgets can still tighten, upgrades can be delayed, and new project starts can slow. In software, you don't need cancellations to get pressure, you just need fewer expansions. Closely connected is the risk that net retention cools. If customers renew but expand less, the revenue line can still grow, but the market will reprice the stock lower because the growth durability story weakens. Another major risk is pricing power normalization. Autodesk has historically had strong pricing leverage, but if customers push back harder on renewals, or if competitive alternatives improve, Autodesk may need more discounting to protect share. That can pressure both growth and margins. A key watch item is billings and remaining performance obligations. Investors use these as forward visibility signals. If billings or RPO growth slows, the market often treats it as an early warning that next year's revenue growth could decelerate, and that's when premium multiples compress. Competition and disruption risk is also real. The market is moving fast. more cloud workflows, more AI-assisted design, and more vertical solutions. Autodesk doesn't need to lose the market overnight to be hurt. Even small share erosion in key workflows can reduce long-term pricing power. Finally, there's execution and margin risk. If Autodesk increases spending to defend growth, higher sales investment, higher AI and R&D costs, and productivity doesn't keep up, operating margins can compress, and that weakens the earnings bridge. Autodesk's 2026 risk is mainly a premium multiple risk. If AEC demand slows, billings visibility weakens, or pricing and margins get pressured, the stock can derate sharply even if the underlying business remains healthy. Now let's move to the opportunity side, because Autodesk's upside is not just sell more seats. It's about monetizing a platform, expanding workflows, and using cloud and AI to deepen switching costs. In the short term, the biggest lever is demand visibility. In software, billings and RPO are key confidence indicators. If Autodesk can show re-accelerating billings, strong RPO growth, and stable renewals, the market typically re-rates the stock higher because investors regain confidence in the forward revenue curve. Second is pricing and mix. Autodesk has multiple knobs: enterprise renewals, bundling, tiering, and packaging optimization. If the company executes well, it can lift revenue per customer without relying solely on net new seats, especially by expanding usage across more departments and moving customers into higher value bundles. Third is margin expansion through efficiency. Autodesk has strong gross margins, so incremental operating leverage matters. If sales productivity improves and OPEX growth stays disciplined, Autodesk can expand operating margins even with mid-teens revenue growth, and premium multiples usually follow improving margin quality. Another near-term opportunity is cloud adoption. Products like Construction Cloud and Fusion create a more recurring, connected workflow. If cloud attach grows and customers adopt more collaboration and data services, Autodesk can increase ARPU and improve retention because the product becomes embedded in daily operations, not just used occasionally. Looking longer term, the big opportunity is platform compounding in AEC. Autodesk sits at the center of design, engineering, and construction workflows. As the industry digitizes, moving from disconnected files to connected lifecycle systems, Autodesk can capture more of the value chain: design, collaboration, project management, and ongoing asset lifecycle. AI is another long-term lever. If Autodesk delivers AI features that materially improve productivity, faster design iteration, automation of repetitive drafting, better clash detection, and project optimization, customers are typically willing to pay more, and adoption can deepen. AI also increases switching costs because workflows become more customized and data-driven. Autodesk also has runway in manufacturing and product design through Fusion and adjacent tools. If Fusion continues to expand from design into manufacturing workflows and potentially PLM-like use cases, it broadens the growth engine beyond AEC. And finally, free cash flow. Autodesk is a strong cash generator, and over a 3 to 7 year window, that cash can drive shareholder returns through buybacks and selective M&A that expands the platform. So the upside framework is stronger visibility near term, better pricing and mix, expanding margins through efficiency, and long-term platform expansion through cloud, AI, and deeper workflow integration that keeps Autodesk compounding. Now let's look at analyst sentiment for Autodesk, and this is about as bullish as it gets. We have 6 strong buys and 23 buys, versus only 3 holds with 0 sells and 0 strong sells. That tells you Wall Street still views Autodesk as a best-in-class software compounder. Mission-critical products, high recurring revenue, strong pricing power, and long-run growth drivers like construction digitization and AI-enabled workflows. The small hold bucket usually reflects valuation discipline. A few analysts may like the business but prefer a better entry point, or they want one more quarter of strong billings and margin execution to confirm the growth path. So the takeaway is very supportive sentiment, and the market's debate is mostly about timing and valuation, not about Autodesk's long-term competitive position.